Hello and welcome to Cocktails with a Twist of History, your digital destination for all things cocktails. There are a few cocktails that have variations of numbers. We spoke about the Corpse Reviver number 2, but there's another one called the Tuxedo number 2, and it's really a great cocktail. It has that kind of number system, but it really came from Tuxedo Park, which was a community in Hudson Valley, New York. It was known as an affluent area, and it actually has the suit that we call now the Tuxedo that also came from there. They had a resort that was called the Tuxedo Club. One of the members of this club was William Waldorf Astor, who was the owner of the famous Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Because of this, there was a cocktail created at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel bar, and it was named the Tuxedo. The original Tuxedo cocktail had gin, sherry, which is a wine, and orange bitters. It was not a very popular cocktail. It lacked the subtleness that the Tuxedo number 2 has. They took out the sherry and added maraschino liqueur, which is a liqueur with slight cherry taste, and we've used this in many cocktails on our show. And the cocktail also has an absinthe rinse, which adds sweetness and aromatics. The Tuxedo number 2 was made with Plymouth gin, which is slightly different than the London Dry Gin, which is the more popular gin that most people drink. Plymouth gin has its own distinct style and history. It originated in the 1700s. Compared to the London Dry Gin, Plymouth gin is typically slightly less dry, smoother, earthier flavors, and really that means that it's a sweeter taste. Okay, I have been talking way too long without a drink in my hand. Let's make a Tuxedo number 2. Now, we are going to need an absinthe rinse for this. So, I've been putting ice in my glass to chill it. We're going to take that out, and we're going to take some of our absinthe, and we are going to put it in the glass, swirl it around a little bit. It doesn't keep the absinthe in there. You really just want to have it's a little bit of its flavor. You can smell it. It has that anise kind of flavor, which usually I don't like, but it really is needed for this drink. Okay, we are going to have a full 2 ounces of our Plymouth gin, and it is a stirred cocktail, so we're going to need our stirring glass. Here we go. It has a full 2 ounces of our Plymouth gin. We are going to use, it says a ½ ounce of vermouth, but those of you who know my show, I usually tend to use a little bit less of the vermouth than they tell me to. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the vermouth. There we go. Now, it needs a ½ ounce of maraschino liqueur. I like maraschino liqueur, so I'm going to use the full ½ ounce there. Also, has that subtle cherry flavor. It's really, really nice. So we are going to put in our maraschino liqueur, and we need 4 dashes of orange bitters. So here we have our orange bitters, and we are going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, which actually is a lot if you're using bitters. Bitters, we said, is a very intense flavor. It is a high alcohol, usually, but it has a lot of the very intense flavors in it, which is why you only use a little bit. Okay, now, here we've got our stirring glass. We're going to put in our ice, and we are going to stir this. And it does not need a lot of stirring. There's no juices in it, which is why it's usually a stirred cocktail instead of a shaken cocktail. Here we go. And now we have our strainer. And we are going to pour it into our cocktail glass. Here we go. And here we have a Tuxedo number 2. And you can see it is nice and clear in that same kind of martini kind of vibe going on. It says you can put an orange twist on it. I did not. I think I'm just going to drink it as is. Let's try it. Ooh, very, very nice. You really feel that gin with the maraschino work very well together. You can taste the vermouth in there, but it's not overpowering. You have the orange bitters. Oh, this is a really good cocktail. Very, very nice. Wow. Now, Luxardo is really the brand that most people use for the maraschino liqueur, and it is the industry standard for it. It is just a really good liqueur. Luxardo happens to be a wonderful company. They have got a number of different liqueurs that are delicious. The Tuxedo number 3 put back the sherry and uses dry vermouth. Sounds like too much for me, so I'm not even going to try that one. And the Tuxedo number 4 just changes the ratios. So, I don't know, not for me also. Both cocktails, though, are featured alongside each other in the 1900 edition of Harry Johnson's Bartender Manual. These are very early cocktails. The Tuxedo number 2 was brought back to life by a once famous but now closed bar on Madison Avenue in New York City, and the bar is called, or was called, Flora Bar, which is not really a good name for a bar in my opinion, but you know, they're closed now anyway, so. It was located in the basement level of the Met Brewer Museum on Madison Avenue and had some fame for a while. It had a little publicity here and there, but it didn't keep it open. But we do thank them for bringing back the Tuxedo number 2. It really is a good cocktail, and it's worth its place in history. Anyway, like usual, if you know other pieces of the story, please, you can put it in the comments, you can send it to us by email, or you can tell it to the bottle. We want to know. Also, please send a link of this show to people that you know so that they can enjoy it as well. And also make sure to follow, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and so we can continue with other episodes of Cocktails with a Twist of History. Thank you.